Even with the introduction of Bitcoin Tracker One, the cryptocurrency is still stuck in Bitcoin purgatory. Yes, it's that place between 6,000 and 7,500 where hopes are dashed, but not enough to throw in the proverbial towel. Begging the question, does the cryptocurrency need to see another hellish drop before another big comeback? Let's bring in Bart Smith, the head of digital assets at Susquehanna. He's known here as Wall Street's crypto king. Bart, good to see you again.
Hello.
Are you as enthusiastic about this first day of trading here in the U.S. as BK is?
You know, it's $8 million traded today, and if you had that repeat, in a fund over and over again, that would add up pretty quick. So I would think that if that was persisted over time, that would be a big deal. The market didn't move, and the market is in show me mode, right? And a lot of there's a lot of news that has come along that you would have thought would have been a catalyst, where the market hasn't responded. Although purgatory would imply that eventually it ascends to heaven, but we'll see. But so yeah, I think right now I think right now what you're seeing is we're right back to where we were. I mean, I was here a month ago where we were talking about breaking out, and Dan's been kind of spot on that this is a bear market rally. Until we break to new highs, he's not buying it, and so far he's been right.
I think the most important point, though, he just made is it's just the news. We've had tons of guests come on and say this is going to be a great catalyst, and you get a little bit of rally, and then it makes a new low, which really speaks to anything that we've ever seen is kind of bear market action.
But I mean, isn't this sort of product, isn't it not as bullish for the crypto space as a product that would actually own the underlying commodity?
Or was SEC, regulated?
Right. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that an ETF in the United States that was SEC registered, I think would have a much bigger effect. But again, if there's something that's driving new money into the price of Bitcoin, you would imagine that would raise it up.
So how easy is this for your average investor at Schwab or somewhere like that, or TD Ameritrade to buy this ETN?
Again, that's really more of a question for each broker dealer, right? So these are not every broker dealer, every investment house has a list of securities that their investors can buy. And so at some places you might be able to buy it. There's been other places, JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon have said that they're not going to let their investors invest in Bitcoin. And so again, it's really dependent on where you have your brokerage account and whether you can get access to, whatever it is, an FTicker or an ETF at that place.
So, I know a bunch of people who were able to buy it at Fidelity today. I checked it out as well. But let me ask you a little bit more about some of the other news, right? So I thought the ICE NYSE was big news. You're in the futures space as well. They're going to be doing this futures custody. What is your thought on that, and why didn't the market react to it?
It was very surprising. I think that you saw a lot of the big names in the space, Novogratz and many others who were out there. Ari Paul were all on Twitter saying that I don't know why this isn't a bigger deal, right? And I think that you have a CFTC regulated warehouse. And maybe it was a slow Friday in August, right? And maybe warehouse, for those who aren't familiar with the commodities world, doesn't have the same kind of impact as a custodian might. But yeah, I mean, this is an opportunity for a NYSE, ICE, the parent company, and ICE Futures to custody warehouse in the spot commodity for institutions. It's a name that they trust. And a bigger point is you plug right in. If you are a market maker, you're a trader, you already have a fixed connection in. You already have the technology. There isn't that much of a build. So that's a head scratcher. That's one where you thought this is whatever, other people will come on the show say this would be a big deal. And so we'll see. I think it's one of those things where like I said, it's in show me mode, right? When they register those and when they trade and when volumes are high, I think the market will come back in. But you've seen over and over there's going to be an ETF and then there isn't, and we're knocking back and forth between this 6,000 and 6,800 level again.
Purgatory. Bart, thank you. Bart Smith of Susquehanna. If we pulled up the Bitcoin chart, we didn't know it was Bitcoin. It could be any chart in the world. Would you say higher or lower? This thing goes higher or lower? Whatever this asset is.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I would say looking at just the charts without any other knowledge, I would say it looks like it's going to go lower. I mean, the technical setup right now for Bitcoin does not look promising in my eyes.
What do you say,
Yeah,
Dan?
so obviously it's very heavy, and then when you overlay the fact that it doesn't rally on good news, I would say that in the underlying thing, when you talk to guys like Bart or people who actually are focused on the custody and the demand for those sorts of services, it leads me to believe that there are institutional investors who are very interested in this asset class, not for a rally back to 8,000, but for the next 8 to 10 to 20 years.